Hey guys, it's Ethan Hill, handsome and wealthy. And can all my handsome and wealthy men stand up? Now, listen, guys, this is gonna be a real good video. It's gonna be something that I think a lot of guys hear, but they don't really hear it, right? We hear, but we don't listen. So, you know what I'm saying? The title of this video is going to be called The Five, right? I'm gonna give you 5 things that is the reason why you're struggling with women, right? Let me repeat that again. It's gonna be the 5 things, right? The 5. I always like number 5. I don't know what it is, but that 5, the 5 things that's making you struggle with women, right? Here goes, here goes. Number 1, right? Number 1, this is a good one, right? Is we are stuck in the traditional period. Hear that again. We are stuck in the traditional period. So what does that mean, right? So my girlfriend right now, right? She's like older than me by, I say 20 years, right? And she, doesn't matter. We get along, we vibe, we cool, everything's smooth. But you gotta realize, man, a lot of the guys that are older, right? So this is for my audience, because my audience a little bit older, right? So a lot of the older guys struggle with this heavily, but we gotta stop treating this time period like 2024, where we're at right now. We gotta stop treating it like the 1960s. We gotta stop treating it like the 1970s, right? A lot of guys, they go on the internet and they go back to the history books, they hit them books hard, and they think that we're supposed to be traditional, right? Everything is supposed to be where the man works and the woman cleans and she stays at home, right? But you gotta realize that nowadays everything is going up, the prices are going up, inflation is crazy, and a lot of women want to get that bag too. That's why this whole thing with feminism and all that shit happened, so women could work. So a lot of guys want to put women in a position where they want to force the woman to stay at home and be a mom, house mom, right? Now, you cannot force someone to be a house mom, right? And that's where you got to stop looking at shit like traditional. Like, we're not in the traditional times. Everybody got to get on their bag. You know what I'm saying? You want your girl to get a bag because it makes her not have to rely so much on you, right? You got to teach her the sauce, right? If you can do that, right? You want her to get her own bag so that way, you ain't got to go out of pocket all the time. She has her own, she could do her things. It makes y'all that much stronger. It makes it that more secure. It's not all on you. The pressure isn't on you. So that's the number one mistake most men are making, is that we are relying on the traditional path, which is non-existence, right? And if you want me to go more in depth in a later video, let me know down in the comments below. But number two is being cheap, right? Being cheap, right? So you want to be mindful, but not frugal. You don't want to be cheap, right? So you don't want to be cheap around your girl, right? Or the woman you're dating, right? And the reason why you don't want to do that is because women look at that as you're the provider, right? So you got to be able to do certain things, right? I'm not saying to pay for every bill or make pay the rent fully and all the utilities. But what I'm saying is that if there's something that you got it in you to do it, but you just don't want to do it because you want to be cheap, then that's a problem. Because women look at you like, oh, you're just making excuses. You want to be cheap when you got it, right? If you absolutely got it, don't be cheap with women. Women don't like to be around guys that are cheap. It makes it look tacky. And if you've read the book Art of Seduction, which is a great read, by the way, it talks about being cheap as an anti-seducer quality. So that means that it's a turnoff. It's a quality that's not going to attract women to you. It's not going to make people want to stick around you when you're cheap. So If you have that quality, that's something you got to get rid of, but stop being cheap if you got it, especially. All right. Number three, how is your energy? Your aura is going to be key to making sure women really want to be around you. They want to be around that energy. Is your aura? How is your aura? Are you the type of man that you complain? Do you take action? Do you go for the things you want, or do you sit and become a victim? Do you try to go ahead and become somebody that's better on a 1% basis, or do you sit back and you blame the world for it? So your aura is going to be something that you guys got to work on, especially if you're not confident within yourself. Your self-esteem is low. You don't feel like you're worthy enough. You got to change that around women, because women are going to look to you as the leader. They're going to look to you as a guy that's going to be standing on business, especially if you're the one that's making the bread, or if you're trying to build something. I'm not necessarily saying that you got to be wealthy. But if you're in a position to cross over and you're working and you're doing things, you got to always believe you can fix the problem. And if you can't fix the problem with your energy, you go and you use resources to go and get that shit figured out. So your aura and your energy and how your demeanor is really going to be something that you got to work on. I still got to work on that a little bit on myself. Sometimes I get a little bit impatient, or I just get annoyed. But you got to learn how to work and really get that aura right on point, okay? So number 3 is your aura. Number 4, I got to mention it, man. You see me right now, man. You got to get a haircut. Your appearance is everything. I made a video called Why Presentation Matters. And your presentation, your aura, all that shit is, important. But you got to get a presentation right. You got to get a nice cut. You know what I'm saying? Blessed up. Gotta go get regular haircuts, man. I say that haircuts are gonna be great, for really bringing out your looks, especially if you got a beard, right, man? I don't like when guys have beards and they don't trim that shit down and they don't line it up, bro. Like, what is the point of having a beard if you don't line it the fuck up? If you don't trim that shit down, that shit is all scraggly and that shit looks like, you ain't combed it in about a week, man. You gotta get your regular haircuts, man. Making sure your hair is faded out, man. I love fades, man. Blowout fade, get a mid taper right there, boom, done. You know what I'm saying? I understand, man. You don't gotta get a haircut every week, but at least every 2 weeks. I know y'all get paid at least every 2 weeks, so go get you a regular fucking haircut. It's gonna change your life, and it's gonna be like therapy, man. It's literally like just them putting the clippers to your beard and lining you up. It's such a therapeutic experience. So get regular haircuts, okay? Do it. All right. And number 5, man. We're approaching the 8-minute mark now. Number 5, man. This is going to be the best one. I think it's going to be the best one. But number 5 is you got to stop controlling women. What do you mean? What do I mean by that, man? You got to stop controlling women, man. I'm telling you, right? Because women don't like that shit, right? And a lot of guys that are older, again, I'm talking to y'all. The young niggas got maybe a little bit of this, but I feel like the old heads definitely got more of this shit. But you got to stop controlling women, man. You got to stop controlling women. You can't really tell women, oh, you can't dress like this, you can't dress like that. You know what I'm saying? Because then you treat the woman like property. And I know a lot of guys like pride themselves on that shit, like being able to control a woman. But the moment you control a woman too much, right? 1, she loses respect for you because she thinks you're insecure. But then number 2, she's going to do it anyways when you ain't with her. You ain't going to always be with your woman. So if she goes and steps out, it's going to make her repress herself to the point where, 1, she doesn't feel as sexy, right? And then number 2, it's like she's going to do it behind your back because she has some fits that she wants to put on. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I'm not saying to let your woman disrespect you, but I feel as though, if your woman is respectful of you and she respects you, she's not gonna do that anyways. But if she does do some shit like that, right? If she does do some shit like that, you know what I'm saying? I personally would not be insecure, bro. You know why? Because if she does cheat or do something, you're gonna find out about that shit. And once you find out, you let that shit go. You move on, bro. It's not hard. Like we let our minds and our emotions like take over, and then like we can't think straight. And like as a man, you got to be able to think logically about shit. So my point is, you guys got to stop controlling women, man. She's gonna do what she wants, right? Regardless if you try to control her, you try to put locks on her, you try to clamp her down with handcuffs, you can't go out, she's gonna find a way to do it. So you gotta stop controlling women. And my shout out my pops or whatever, but I guess when he was in a relationship with my mother and all that, he would control her and, tell her, yo, you can't go out, you can't wear this, you can't have a phone, you have all that. I've heard it all, But yeah, you cannot do that. So you guys literally, this is the 5 things you guys gotta really, really implicate and put into motion. So if you guys felt like this was a good video, you learned something from it, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on your post notifications. We got 626, still rising, man, still going smooth. You know what I'm saying? I just dropped a video, a short, so you guys go check that out as well. I hope you guys are having a great, great weekend, and you guys take this into effect, and you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Ethan Hill, handsome and wealthy, we're out.